Soon the vote, gentlemen.
We're there. Carl said something, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen, bodies of water. We are the Alchemy Lab. My name is Lee, and I'll be playing Cassius Valentine, a rogue warlock dude.
I'm Carl. I'll be playing Graccus. I'm playing a bard orc barbarian. Not bard orc, druid.
You're not a bard.
Oh, what the hell?
Fucking liar.
Hey, I could be lying to you. You don't know.
And I'm Matt, and my dog is under the table, banging on the table. So that's going to be a thing that's happening, and shaking the camera.
And there we are. And we are playing, well, we're playing Streets of Mihre, aren't we, Matt?
We are indeed playing the Streets of Mihre.
The conclusion to episode, chapter, verse 2.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
We really need to work out the naming structure.
Oh, I've got the naming structure. So this is let's say episode 2. Or adventure 2. We'll say it's adventure 2.
Adventure, like that.
Surely it should be case number 2.
Well, I say case number. Well, okay, yeah. Let's say it's case 2. Let's say it's case number 2. Let's do that. That's better. I may need to change the name of the playlist. I probably do. That's okay. I can do that. That's fine.
And now we've finished our business meeting, ladies and gentlemen, bodies of water. Last time, Streets of Mihre.
Oh, we'll get better at this, we promise.
We went to a Slayer concert, as in it was raining blood. Ha-ha!
Hey!
But was it raining blood, or was it raining bodies? Yes, it was raining bodies. Zombie bodies, zombodies, if you will. One that wasn't quite a zombie, though. Miss, well, we don't know her name, do we? But I do know that she had a Zaire family signet ring on her, which I have pocketed for favours later. And now, because I'm a creepy motherfucker in my hands in all kinds of nefarious pies, we need to go see a man about a dog. And by a man, I mean a cleric. And by a dog, I mean the power to talk to dead people.
Specifically
Indeed.
that.
In that order, yeah.
Indeed. And that is what you are doing. You're on the road with Boise, your erstwhile driver of your cart. You have the body in the back. There we are. We have a title card.
Getting our production value.
And yeah. High budget. All right, very high. You are in the cart. You are traveling along the edge of the Mihre Island, and at your direction, you have cut inward a bit, and now you have gone under into the mountain itself, into the hollowed out mountain itself. And you're heading towards what looks like a junction, like sort of a guard, like a guard post. There are members of the town guard there. So you recognize them because you've had interactions with the city guard as just sort of standard guardsmen. And they seem to be waving people through, checking papers and things like that. It seems to be stricter than you remember.
I'll give Graccus a knowing look and sort of give him the nod that says, "If we need to talk, you wait. No, I'll do the talking." And so, are we in sort of like a line of carriages ready to hit the roadblock, as it were?
Yes, it's a short queue though. So there's 2 ahead of you. They've just waved the front one through, so there's 1 ahead of you. So you've got maybe, it seems like their checks are stringent-ish. So
Can I
You've
have
got a couple of minutes.
Can I have a little listen? So we're one away. Can I have a little listen about the questions and sort of what they're conversing about?
Make me a perception check.
18 plus 24.
Okay, so they're asking about what's in the cart.
Hmm.
They're asking about what business they have on the upper tiers.
I do exactly that. I laugh to myself a little bit and go, oh no.
They are. So one of them is doing a semi-thorough search as well. So you don't know if the answer is unsatisfactory or they got wind of some kind of suspicious activity in the cart, but they're searching it. It's just short search though.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to find anything, and reluctantly, they wave the cart through.
Mm.
They seem to be sort of jobs worth type people.
Mm-hmm.
Boise drives the cart forward
Mm-hmm.
up to the picket line. One of them raises their hand. What business do you have on tier 6?
We are, we're going back into tier 6. We went to one of the farms earlier, looking for work and things like that, perhaps to find some trade. And now we are returning.
And what trade have you found? What are you bringing to tier 6? What is the contents of your cart?
Well, as you can see, I look back. What is in the cart?
There isn't much in the cart apart from the body wrapped in tarp.
Okay. I go, well, wasn't it a rug? Please tell me it was a rug. It might not have been a rug.
I think it was like a tarp.
I think it was just like a tarp or a rag thing they had lying around.
And this was like a grain farm, wasn't it?
Mushrooms, bit of grain. Yeah.
Well, we went to, what was the name of the farm? Boise.
Yeah.
What was the name of the farm?
The Brettamaine farm is where we went.
Wait, no, Corway's, you idiot! And I hit him. Corway's farm. We were in Corway's farm. They do some lovely mushrooms and grain, good for whiskey and spirits, and we are bringing them to. I'm going to rack my brains for a tavern.
Make a racking your brains check. I'm going to say like a general intelligence check
first. 10.
Okay, so I mean
Go on, jail.
I must have bounced because when I fell down through the tiers, I must have not stopped there for long. Boing.
Yeah.
I think you.
Wait. So is it a tavern on tier 6?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Okay. So you think for a moment, and you can't think of it, and you know that like in your mind you're like pubs are named after animals, and they're named after it's like animal and color, and that's what your brain says. So, what's it called?
The one with the colourful animal.
Can I see him stumbling and try and interject with a tavern name from tier 6?
Yes, you can.
Same check.
Yes.
The animal. They're all animals, aren't they? Oh, Goodness me, what was the name of the tavern?
14.
I apologise, gentlemen, but I'm racking my brains and...
14 gets you the name. Jesus. Gets you the name, the Azure Fox.
So as Cassius is sort of stumbling around trying to come out with it, I just sort of, without shifting my head down, I just sort of look out and go, as your fox.
That's the one, the Azure Fox, yes.
Make me a deception check.
Which one of us?
Oh, I think it's going to be Cassius making this.
That was 20...
That's right.
23. No, 21. 21.
Okay. So he narrows his eyes at you. Yes. All right. Doesn't look like you've got grain in the back of the cart.
It's wrapped up in the tarp. I didn't have a grain bag with me. I apologise.
He nods to the other one, who moves around and hops up into the cart.
I go, oh, for goodness sake, fine, I'll show you. And I sort of push him out of the way. I've got to be belligerent as fuck at the moment. Because otherwise, they're going to see a dead body, Graccus.
Yes.
They're going to see a dead body.
Oh, I know. This is why I'm
Yeah. So I sort of push him back and I stand over the dead body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this morning when I left, there was no law or rule or inkling that you needed to have specific bags for grain or mushrooms. Has that changed in the last 4 hours?
Make me a persuasion check.
Can also do that. These are my two goodies here.
This is what you do.
I need to turn on my light, but that's another 21.
Okay, so the guard in the back of the cart goes, well, no, no, sir, no, it's not. You understand this is a standard check. Simply, it's just a standard check, just to make sure everyone is coming in with what they say they're coming in with.
Is this a normal thing? So you said it seemed a bit more stringent this time.
So these two seem to be, it seems a little bit more stringent than usual. You suspect something has changed, although you're not entirely sure what.
Now, I do understand standard check, Mr. Guard. I completely understand that. However, this does seem different. Are you looking for miscreants or burgled items? Has there been a crime near here? Or I don't see why we're getting profiled. Is it because I'm an ASMR and my friend is an half-orc? Is that what it is?
Oh, oh my! What kind of check is that? Make me a social justice check. No, make me a make me a.
Advantage for being a white guy.
No, because he's an ASMR.
He's still ASMR though.
I'm super white though.
Yeah, it's the whitest white.
Paper
Let's
white.
see what have we got here. Because that's a weird one. Because I feel like that's it doesn't feel deceptive. It doesn't feel. It feels somewhere. It doesn't feel particular. It feels a tad intimidating. It feels very performative. Make me a performance check.
You've got +4 really across the board. I can make a straight charisma. They're my lowest.
I'm going performance.
It's all
You're making a performance check.
4s or 6s. That is a little bit less, 18.
He
This
fixes
guy
you.
just keep rolling these high numbers while we're here.
So he fixes you. So they're wearing like full helmets, right? He fixes you with. He sort of freezes up. He takes his helmet off, and he is a half-orc. And he says, "No, we're checking every cart, sir, and I would appreciate you not making assumptions about the guard. We're doing our jobs.
Well, it doesn't appear that it seems that you're doing more than your jobs. Are you bored?
Are you uninformed, sir?
Well, I'm trying to ask you questions, and all you want to do is try and take me to prison for having grain in a longer bag than usual, I imagine. Please inform me. Inform me. That would be fantastic as to why we are being stopped here for looking at grain and mushrooms.
Can I interject here and in Orcish speak to the guards and essentially try and say, like, look, we both know how it works for orcs. We need to earn our keep here so we can provide for the tribe back home. If we're late, I get docked. This guy's new. He's a bit self-important, unfortunately. He's a local sort of wannabe lordling's son who's been made to work at the tavern to at least know a little bit about how businesses work. I'm stuck with him. Boise's stuck with him. Can we please just get on our way so I can be done with this this douche?
Make me a persuasion check with advantage. That was very good.
Thank God for the advantage. 19.
He nods to you. He goes, in Orcish as well, he goes, all right. We'll let you through this one time. But not again. Plenty of contraband coming up this way. So be aware. Right, and keep your eyes out and maybe just have some grain. Oh, it doesn't. Just go on through. He hops off the cart.
As he hops off, I just give him a look and many thanks, brother.
He gives you a nod.
Boise.
And Boise gets the horses moving, and then as soon as you're out of earshot of the guards, he just goes, bloody hell.
Well, that was fucking almost a shitstorm.
Yeah.
I've not had to use that voice in quite a while. Ugh.
What I will say, Mr. Valentine, if anything, it helped.
Well, I am good at what I do, so...
Yeah.
Boise looks better. I don't know if it helped or not, but...
Trust me, it did. It made him sound like an entitled arsehole from the Lordling's family, which I could palm off as being that I didn't want to deal with. Luckily, it was another half-orc, which meant I could at least talk to him in a language only he and I could understand.
Right. Well...
Won't work again, though.
Well,
right.
Hopefully we can just dump this body. Well, no.
We can deal with this and leave what we can do.
Yes, that's what we can do.
Well, where the bloody hell are we going?
That would be Mr. Valentine's answer there.
Indeed, yes. Now, the last time I was here, which apparently wasn't very long, I can't even remember any of the names of the pissing bars up here and taverns, but yes. Straight down there a ways and I'll tell you when to turn.
Where are you pointing?
Just down towards, so we're going to tier 6, right? This is where my...
Yeah, so you're sort of on so the road spirals round the interior of the mountain and disappears as you come up to sort of the next level, which is tier 6.
Mm-hmm. So we need to hit the main thoroughfare, I imagine.
So this road will come out on the main thoroughfare.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll be going pretty much straight.
Mm-hmm.
The streets branch off.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about tier 6, Matt.
Right, so tier 6, as you're both aware, is, but of course, audience, you are not. Tier 6 is the second poorest area of Mihre. This is about, it holds roughly sort of 75,000 people. It's considerably nicer however, than Tier 7, which has fallen into disrepair. The houses here are more spaced out. They're more built. They're more sort of detached from each other, some semi-detached. The roads are a lot better maintained. Still a bit of crime, but it's a lot more organised crime and not as much petty crime as there is in 7. Still beyond breaking, but it's and it's a bit more culturally rich than below.
Okay.
So as you come up and you see the main thoroughfare, you see temples to a number of deities that at this point people are fairly convinced don't exist, but you see the symbols of Bahamut and Pelor and various other deities. You see archways and statues that are a bit eroded, but still there, and they still look kind of nice. The dock here is a lot bigger, so it takes up probably about a third of Tier 6, the docking area. And there are large airships moving in and out. But you start up the main thoroughfare, the main concourse of Tier 6. Immediately you smell that the air is cleaner. Still not completely clean, but cleaner. And you don't hear the sounds of kind of sort of drunkenness and fury and distress as much as down below. But you get the feeling life isn't exactly easy here either. But it has its problems, as you're both aware from your journeys down.
Yeah.
Right. I need to find some urchins.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to go and find me my cleric dude.
All right. Your urchins. So there are a few urchins kind of scurrying around. Very much keeping out of sight. Not as open as they are on the tier below.
Right. Now, Graccus, we need to catch ourselves an urchin. No, very easy. Walk in front of me and then drop a silver coin on the floor. One of them will come out, and I will step on the coin before he gets there and have a conversation with him.
I hop off the side of the cart and just quickly just stretch because it's been a long ride. And start walking down the concourse, and then just go into my pocket and sort of fumble a bit. And as I pull it out, just intentionally drop a silver coin behind me.
Okay. The silver coin clatters audibly on the stone. You keep walking, Graccus. Cassius, you see a pair of urchin boys sort of look at the coin and look at each other, and they look at Graccus, making sure he's not going to turn around. And then one of them, quick as a flash, scurries out.
I'm going to join him at that coin.
Okay.
With 2 coins. So he gets to the coin. I meet there, I imagine. Am I able to get a foot on that coin first?
Oh, acrobatics. Just for swift movement.
19.
Yes, you are.
And then I kneel down, look him in the eye, and have a coin there and a coin there. Now.
Okay, he doesn't run. He looks up at you, sort of like,
Hmm.
but then sees the coins.
It's all okay. Just wanted to have a conversation with you. Your friend can join and you can both have it.
The other one's got, so he looks around, the other one's scarpered.
Okay.
The second you put your foot down.
Well, it appears you're going to make 2 instead of 1. You were the brave one. Now, do you know Aelor the Grey? Now, this guy is a cleric and he helps out all the kids. Like with food.
So the kid.
They might call him the I don't want to call him the Candy Man. We'll call him the Candy Man. Or the Candy Man. From the church. Yes? Would you be able to find him for me? Yeah?
Yeah.
1 coin now. 1 coin later when you bring him back. And the one that's under my foot. Deal?
Where do I take him?
Take him to the Azure Fox. And tell him an old friend wishes to meet him to discuss the old times of well, while he was here very briefly and got bumped. He'll know what it means.
Got bumped.
Bumped, yes.
He puts his hand on the coin you're offering him.
Mm-hmm. Who are you finding?
Aelor the Grey.
And where are you bringing him?
The Azure Fox.
And you're going to tell him?
An old friend wants to talk to him about when he got bumped.
Old friend.
Old friend.
Yes.
Old friend about when he got bumped.
But to talk about the times before he got bumped, okay?
Before he got bumped, okay.
Yes.
Old friend.
Yes.
Talk about times before he got bumped.
Correct.
And he scurries off with the coin.
Well, Graccus and Boise, let's go get a drink at the Azure Fox. I hope it's good.
Just a slight question with this plan. And I sort of lean in closer at this point, whisper it to it. What are you planning to do with the corpse while we're in the pub?
Well, Boise, if you could find somewhere shady, that would be good.
Somewhere shady where they're not going to check for a corpse.
Where it's not going to smell, so they won't think to check for one. Yes.
Well, that's up here. That's going to be tricky. Have you got something that'll, some kind of magic that will stop it smelling?
I see what you're doing. You're trying to make me use the spell that I didn't know how to use, aren't you? Yes, Boise. Yes, I believe I do.
Oh, well, that's lucky.
That is a stroke of luck, isn't it? But I think it's only good for up to 1 hour.
Well, all right. Okay. Well, I can wait nearby.
And I'll come out and top it up, I imagine, shall I?
Yeah, I mean, that'll work, yeah. That'll work.
Very well. Do you know where the Azure Fox is, Boise? Graccus, you may know?
I don't know. I'm not up here that often.
I'm assuming I would probably remember Matt, given that I remember the name.
Yeah, you remember where it is.
Cool. So I hop back in the cart. Boise, into the road, take a right. About two crossroads further forward. You can't miss the sign. It's pretty distinct.
All right, fine, yeah. All right, yeah, okay. So you set off, and he follows your instructions to the letter. And you are right about that sign. The sign is, so when you heard azure fox, you thought, oh, it's a fox, like an animal. No, it is a blue, foxy lady. Looks like a tiefling, and she is in a state of undress. Is very, very racy. The tavern itself is, it's not quite a brothel, but it's maybe a step and a half below a brothel.
Well, well, well. That is racy, isn't it, Gracie? Are you taking us to a whorehouse?
Never call me Gracie.
Very well.
And
My question still stands, though. Are you taking us to a whorehouse?
it was the first thing that came to memory, okay?
Yes, I believe it. Believe it would be.
And before you try and make any assumptions, no, I never partook of that part of the business. Unfortunately, plenty of the humans in my house and the family I work for as a group did. Spent half their paycheck here every week.
Well, it seems like you missed out on, well, we'll see, maybe quite a time.
I'd rather not pay for it if I can avoid to.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. Boise stops the cart. So there's like an alleyway next to the azure fox, and it's semi-covered, fairly discreet, but it's not going to cover the smell of the body.
I know what will, though.
What will? What will?
I will cast Prestidigitation.
All right. What are you going to make it smell like?
I'm going to create an instantaneous harmless sensory effect. So I'm going to make it smell of, what is it? Well, what does it smell of up here?
Just sort of faintly of smoke.
I'll
Very faintly.
I'll,
Baked goods.
yeah, sort of like trash, bit of trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, like rotting stuff, but not a body.
Not rotting bodies, no.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Excellent.
Turning food that is turning, not rotten.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Good. So that just and it's the smell immediately changes.
Forgot that I could do that. Probably could have used that at the checkpoint.
Yeah, it's certainly useful.
Well, look, we got through. It's all right. Look, I'll wait here with it. Make sure no one pokes their heads in.
Thank you very much, Boise.
All right. So you both dismount the cart and head into the azure fox, and immediately the smell of incense and wines and whatever, so kind of cigar smoke, like cheap cigar smoke, kind of fills your nostrils. Okay. Not quite a whorehouse, but something else.
And we work out the back of the devilish library.
I'd rather work out of the library, thanks.
Does smell nice, and there's nice things to look at.
And there are some nice things to look at. So there are scantily clad ladies and gentlemen who are all kind of cavorting around and hopping between tables and sort of sitting with the patrons. It seems like less of a brothel, more like a companion bar, where people sort of sit and just talk with you and just hang around with you, have a drink with you, have a cigar with you. But they're all very beautiful. Unlike the patrons.
Well, shall we get a drink?
Yeah, I could do with one after today. This one's on me. What do you have?
Let's try and blend in, shall we? A brandy.
Brandy it is. I'll be back in a few seconds.
So, so from your time here, you know that they do table service. So you park up at a table, and a lady comes. A lady sachets over in a looks like a fairly nice gown, and she looks at the pair of you. And what will you be having, Jim?
Whiskey for me, and brandy for my friend here.
I see. Well, that will be 5 silver. Will you be having any companionship tonight?
I'll pass. But my friend sure is up to him.
Well, young lady, as nice as you are, I don't generally pay for companions. I make friends, and in fact, they pay me for my time. It would feel out of sorts for me to break a habit of a lifetime, so I must decline your generous offer.
Okay. She straightens up a little and just saunters away and brings back your drinks, sets them on the table. You probably have a bit of time before what was his name again? Aelor the Grey.
Yeah.
Before Aelor the Grey arrives. So I guess you have time to have a bit of a chat.
So I hand the 5 silver over and sort of not push her away, but sort of give her the sort of suggestion of, yeah, we're good, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You're more than welcome to join us when you finish, my love.
Maybe I will.
Saucy minx.
So I've been meaning to ask you.
Very well, but answers normally cost from me, but I'm sure I can give you a few for free.
I'm the reason we're in tier 6. I think I'm owed 1.
We would have gotten in here, but I do appreciate what you did.
What's your long-term goal with all of this? I know archivists in the higher tiers generally don't help people for the sake of money. They didn't do it for the secrets. What I want to know is, what are you hoping to learn down there?
Now, this is the second time you've called me an archivist, and the second time that I have not told you that I'm an archivist. Which family did you work for?
The Grey Halls. Tier 4.
Well. Not necessarily in the circles that I moved in, lower circle, just by the one, but... You must have... must be a natural at finding information. It's rare for someone with such a build.
There's a reason they hired me.
Yes, I can see that. I looking at the broadsword on your back. The great sword, sorry. Yes, that's patently obvious, but...
How much do you know of my kind? Of where we come from?
Shall we find out with a roll?
Why not?
Go ahead. I feel like this is nature for sort of sociological things.
18.
You know that orcs and half-orcs tend to be tribal. They tend to inhabit their own islands. Occasionally they're warlike. Sometimes they're not. There's a diversity of attitude and faith among their kind, because you can only be so warlike in the Shattered Lands.
Yeah. Do they normally stray as far from home as Graccus maybe has?
Not usually, no.
I mean, I know enough, Mr. Graccus. But you are very far from home.
My people are natural survivors, Valentine.
But not necessarily natural explorers. Not to this extent. You come from far out.
Part of surviving on Tor Gavan, which is my clan's island.
Hmm.
Learning to survive by acquiring certain information about our surroundings.
Oh.
You're right. You've never told me what you were before. But a man who collects secrets, who came from the upper circles, there's only so many things you could have been. If you were a lordling or a member of the higher tiers, then you'd be disgraced, but you would be thrown out. Your money would still be good. But if you were forced down to tier 7, then oof. It's not about money then.
Not necessarily forced, Mr. Graccus. It's complicated. And something that I would like to address very quickly. I could stay there, of course. But my work wouldn't be very fucking good. My name is tarnished.
Politics.
Not my name. My name is not tarnished. My
reputation.
To a degree, yes.
The politics of the upper circles, eh?
Well, there's politics, and then there's more. I ran a very tight ship up there. And from what I've been able to drip feed from the top, no one's really stepped into my place. I ran a very, tight-lipped business. That's why I was so sought after. The money kind of went for it, made itself. And then all of a sudden, my secret's stripped out. Now, that is very, very strange, especially for someone of my tenure in this position.
Mm.
Very strange indeed. So long-term game is, well, I would assume, to kill whoever did that, and then perhaps move on. There are many secrets to be found in the Shattered Lands. Mihre was merely comfortable. Now not as much.
Understandable.
But debts must be paid, and should the debt be blood, then so be it.
That I can completely agree with.
The doors of the Azure Fox open, and in walks a man, a human, perhaps 65 years old. He's got a messy grey beard. His hair is quite short, though. It's quite sort of closely cropped. And he looks around and fixes his eyes squarely on you, Cassius.
Hello, old friend.
He pads over. He's wearing sandals, so they sort of clop on the floor. He pulls up a chair and sits. Not your usual haunt, I dare say.
Well, not usual, but this place does have its charm. Not a place that you would normally see yourself either.
No, not at all. I see you have, you have company. Good afternoon. I am Aelor the Grey.
Graccus. Just Graccus.
Very well. All right, Cassius. Out with it.
I want to speak to someone.
Oh? And what particular kind of someone do you wish to speak to?
Someone that I can only speak to through someone of your talents.
Ah. I see. Well.
Is this someone close by?
Very.
Well, speaking to people is it's a difficult business. Very difficult. Particularly the sort of people you seem to want to converse with. It's a difficult business. It's not a cheap business.
Yes, out with it, Aelor. Yes, I get the marketing script. What do you want?
Oh, I suspect a donation for helping with the young ones. You know, you think that tier 6 would be so much more than 7, but it seems just another shade of shite.
Is Aelor a good dude?
He's fairly good. He's good for down here.
Mm-hmm. Do I have anything on him to drop that discount? Get that discount going?
Oh, make me a history check.
17. I'm getting worse and worse. By the time we get into combat, Carl, I'm going to be dropping ones.
That's fine. I should be able to cope with that one.
So you have you don't have anything concrete on him. You have rumored whisper of a family member or two that have departed this world in perhaps suspicious circumstances. He is not blameless in it. Well, he's not he's not above suspicion for either one.
Do I remember how they're connected to him?
Like familial relation.
Yeah.
There's a great uncle and a second cousin. They're distant-ish.
Yes. Well, as you know, Aelor, I rarely deal in coin. I deal in information, don't I? Conversation and... Yes, that reminds... Your family line is shrinking somewhat, isn't it? Or did? Was it great uncle?
He rolls his eyes and says, 10 gold between you.
There was a cousin as well, wasn't there?
I'm not going any bloody lower than that, Cassius. It's good to see you. Half is what you get.
Thank you for allowing me to flex my muscles, Aelor.
Well, if you don't flex them, they go soft.
Indeed. Doesn't appear that you have, though, old friend.
No. Particularly in the skills you want to flex at this point in time.
Fantastic. So I'll hand him the 10.
All right. It disappears into his robe somewhere. All right. Well, I think you'd better introduce me to our mutual contact.
Indeed.
So you'll get up, neck your drinks, I guess, and then head out around to Boise.
I'll wave to the lovely young lady.
She gives you a slightly haughty look. But you disappear out into the street and into the back of Boise's cart.
Well, under this is our friend, Aelor.
I see. Well, I suppose we should head somewhere a bit more appropriate than an alleyway.
Do you have Anywhere in mind?
I do indeed. If you won't mind, driver, I will take the reins. Boise sort of looks suspicious a little bit, but moves aside. And Aelor drives the cart sort of 2 streets away, pulls into a nondescript house, fairly nondescript, at least from the outside. Inside, however, and who's carrying the body in?
Me.
All right, Graccus, you
The
pick up.
tiny man or the big man? Who's carrying it?
Yeah, Graccus, you pick up the body.
Yeah.
And you go inside. Inside, it is not nondescript at all. It is full of iconography of about 6 deities. You see equipment for potion making. You see various bubbling things. And you see a stash of like chocolates and hard candies and bread and dried meats and things. And it's all labelled up in bins. And this is presumably what he's feeding the children, feeding the urchins. Yes, dear. Good grief. Got a vocal dog.
You did.
All right, anyway. There's a dog in the corner as well. It makes a little noise as you...
Whimpers.
Yeah. What's up with you? Anyway. Yeah, you move inside and look around like, oh. I think we'd better put her somewhere comfortable. And there's it's like those cushions that, are you all right down there? Good grief. It's one of those cushions that you see in a psychiatrist's office. So it's slightly elevated on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Graccus, you lay her on there. You unwrap her from the tarp. Yeah. So you recall how this incantation works.
I do, but perhaps you may inform my associate.
All right. Well, what happens? Once the incantation is complete, you have 10 minutes with her. You can ask her 5 questions, and only 5. Now, she is under no obligation to give you an honest answer. However, well, I don't know how well you know her, if she has any reason to lie to you. And she only knows what she knew in life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have interacted with her since she passed, then she won't recognize you or know you.
When you say past, Aelor, we found this woman in, I wouldn't necessarily say alive, but not necessarily dead. When we spoke to her, sometimes she wouldn't understand us, but then there was some recognition that we were there.
I fear that if she was not completely alive, she will not have any recollection of it.
Very well.
I fear the mind can go blank in scenarios like this, and it is rather unsettling. So I would suggest you work out your questions before I cast the incantation.
Yes. What concerns me, Graccus, is that much of her ordeal may have happened after she died.
Perhaps. But we can at least ask her what led up to it.
I think that way may be wise. The last thing she remembers, the last hour, day she remembers.
Lost person, perhaps.
I'm sorry?
Last person she remembers.
Indeed. Really, we need a name. I'm sorry?
Do you still have her ring?
I do.
Perhaps we can use that as a way of gaining the spirit's trust. She'll remember that. Returning it to her might give some sort of comfort and give her a little reason to trust us.
Or she may think we're thieves.
We're returning, you can hope not.
So what I think we may need to do is place it back on her finger for now. I will be taking that back because we're gonna get some powerful friends, Carl. That's what we're gonna do. We will leave it with her for now, but maybe we can gain favor by knowing her family. I've heard of the Zaires. I don't know them, but I know of them. And, well, so we need to understand who has done this to her, the events leading up to her death.
When?
Indeed. Why is a tricky question.
She might not know that.
Maybe her why, Graccus. Why she conversed with this final person.
That's a smart idea.
Not his why, her why.
Yeah, why? It might give us a way to find the guy or whoever's doing this.
Okay, that's 3. So why were you with X? So that can't be the first question we asked. So who was the last person you saw while you were alive?
Yep.
The last person alive. Who? What? What were you doing with X? What were you doing with X, or what did they want with you?
Perhaps what were they offering?
I don't think what they were offering. I think we need to understand why they wanted her, or what they wanted from her, or what she was doing with them.
If I may,
Laylor.
the other factor is her answers may alter your questions.
Indeed, that's why I'm putting together a question tree in my mind.
You have 10 minutes, so potentially you could ask her some of your questions and then...
Decide the rest when she's still here.
Yes.
For now, I think we go with what we've got. We can decide the other two.
Yes. Yes. And we can speak for as long as we wish, Graccus. It's merely the questions that shut her down, almost.
You also, bear in mind you have 10 minutes as well. There's a time limit.
No problem.
He he clicks his fingers using prestidigitation to light 4 incense burners that are set up around this couch where the woman is. He clasps his hands together in front of her and whispers an incantation under his breath. And the woman's eyes snap open. And she begins to sort of not quite breathe. It's like the sound of breathing, but it's more of a...
Hello, Miss Zaya. My name is Cassius Valentine. My associate is Graccus Bowbreaker. We are here to help you. Unfortunately, you have passed from this world, and we need to understand why and hopefully who has done that to you. We mean you no harm. We only mean harm to the people that have done this to you.
There's no reaction from her at all.
Who was the last person you were with when you were alive?
Ebroth.
Very well. I look to Graccus. Which one should we ask? What were you doing, or what did they want with you?
Let's go what they were doing.
And what were you doing with Ebroth, Messiah?
My husband studying.
What are you thinking, Valentine?
I'm sorry.
What are you thinking?
Well, the husband may also be dead.
Could be Ebroth.
The husband may be Ebroth. The husband may be studying Ebroth and may be dead or alive.
Do we need to know what they were studying?
What was your husband studying, Messiah?
The dead. And the tower.
Right. Well, we can find out if her husband is Ebroth
Yeah.
by asking if her husband killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Did your husband kill you, Messiah?
Fate killed me.
Last question, Mr. Graccus. We better make it count.
So she said that fate killed her.
Fate killed her. Her husband was studying the dead in the tower, and fate killed her. Ebroth being the last person she saw before she died.
Why were they studying the dead, maybe? Do you want to find out if Ebroth is the husband?
Not necessarily. we could have just got a bonus, really, to assume that Ebroth was the husband. We could have intimated whether or not that was the case. It's not really a deal.
No.
It might be a nice to know. Ebroth is going to be the one who killed her, but it says fate, so it could have been a game of chance that has put her in that way.
Then do we want to try and understand what they were hoping to learn? Because at the minute, all we know is that her husband was studying the dead.
Mm-hmm.
We asked her who killed her. She said fate did.
Mm-hmm.
That suggests that either she doesn't know, she might be lying, or whatever her husband was studying had a cost.
Mm-hmm.
Aelor speaks to you both in a low voice. It's making sure that she can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I assume you know, where this occurred?
We have an idea, Aelor.
I see.
There was a floating island above where we found her.
We were at Crossways Farm and Corways Farm. Apologies, Aelor. Now, above Corways Farm, there are several islands, and there is a well, now that she's said it, a tower-like island that does not move as the other islands do. It comes and it goes, comes and goes. The last time it returned was when, why we were called. They don't appear to have made that connection, but I can safely assume that the connection has to be made.
The island that's pointing down.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes. Sorry, your last question.
I think we asked what they were hoping to understand.
Very well, Graccus. As it's your first time, you may as well ask a question.
So Graccus isn't very comfortable with the idea of this. Our people don't really like the idea of messing with the dead too much, but this Zaire, what was your husband hoping to learn from the dead?
Control of the power inside him. And the light, the false light leaves her eyes immediately. They close and she slumps back onto the couch.
As she sort of slumps back, can I try and catch the body and lower it gently on?
Yes, go ahead. I'm just going to say that you do that.
Cool.
Zaire? Zaire?
Yes.
Was it?
Ziare. I take the ring from her finger and I sort of go, sleep well, young child. This is the signet ring, Aelon.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm familiar with them. Well, I know that they're familiar in passing. I assume you are as well.
Indeed.
Perhaps you'd like mind filling me in, because I don't know the name.
Of course. They are a relatively well-off family. They're on the third tier. Well, they're spread across the third and the fourth tiers. They would want to know.
Not of much note, really, Graccus. I wouldn't say that this is their forte. There would be nothing in my archives, he says, sort of pointing to his brain, that they were necromancers of any sort, just mere nobility.
Last question she answered.
Indeed.
Suggest her husband had power.
It suggests that her husband is indeed Ebroth. It that Ebroth has control.
Or he's trying to learn.
Wishes to have control over the power inside him, and that power is linked to the dead and the tower.
There's no tower around. Well, no. At least not on this tier. Certainly, I don't think on 5 or 4 there is a tower.
Would you say it was perhaps like the island that's shaped like a knife that I was speaking of?
It could be. It could very well be.
Because from what I understand of that, it doesn't move like the other islands. There were many others, but this one came and went. Now, we were called to the farm to understand why it was raining blood on the farm.
Oh.
Now, the reason it was raining blood was because bodies were falling from the sky.
Ah.
Now,
And I take it these bodies were reanimated.
Yes.
yes, in several states of decomposition. Young Miss Sayer there was in the best state in the last to fall. She was still somewhat in this plane, and, well, we put her out of her misery because there was no speaking to her there, and, well, now we're here.
Perhaps the most recent of the turned.
Would be the best case.
Well, I suppose your next port of call is rather obvious.
Indeed, we need to
Need to get to that island.
go for a little sail in the skies.
And on that note, that will be the end of part 3.
Oh, spooky motherfuckers!
Now, I don't tell these two the episode names or the case names because it spoils things.
Yeah.
This is part 3 of The Falling Dead. Yeah.
Nice.
And part 4, I suspect, will be the final part. So, thank you for watching. We have the first adventure in a playlist, the first case, rather, in a playlist, The Sword and the Silver Tongue. So, check that out. Give it a like, give it a watch.
Smash it!
Smash the like button.
Smash it!
Punch the subscribe button.
Oh,
No, they're not going to do that anymore.
Just for that.
Smash the like button, punch the subscribe button, throw your computer out the window to follow the channel.
Repair it.
Yeah, repair it, and then watch everything else. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and for enjoying.
Until then,
and we'll see you next time.
Ladies, gentlemen, bodies of water, we've been in the Alchemy Lab. Hope you've enjoyed it. Speak to you soon. Bye.